The silence before the storm. Why did Taehyung disappear after military service? Where was Kim Taehyung after completing his military service? Why did fans, who waited with excitement to welcome him back, instead face a long and deafening silence? And most shockingly, why was his name suddenly whispered in hushed tones in Seoul's medical corridors? It began with a whisper, not a press release, not a V-Live, not a Weverse post. Just a faint murmur passed among a few armies who claimed to have seen someone resembling Taehyung being wheeled into a hospital under tight security, his face hidden beneath a mask, his body clearly exhausted, slumped like someone barely holding on. Some fans dismissed it. He's just taking a break. It's probably security overkill. But others weren't convinced. And then, like a thunderbolt tearing through a clear sky, it happened. The hospital admission that shocked everyone. Why was Taehyung really admitted? Early reports from hospital insiders, leaked only through anonymous accounts and quickly deleted, spoke of a former soldier suffering from acute exhaustion, dehydration, and internal injuries? How could that be? The mystery deepened when Big Hit Entertainment issued a vague statement asking for privacy, while confirming Taehyung had been admitted for a routine post-service health evaluation. Routine? That's not what the nurse in the emergency wing said. According to one anonymous hospital staffer who spoke under conditions of anonymity, he looked like he was in pain. His vitals were unstable. His breathing was shallow. This was not routine. Then came the real gut punch. When the call came, Taehyung's mother collapses in panic. It was just past midnight when the phone rang in the Kim household. His mother, known for her quiet composure and unbreakable calm, answered. But nothing could prepare her for what she heard. Her son, her baby, was in critical condition. The doctor didn't sugarcoat it. "Ma'am, we're doing everything we can. He's stable now, but we had to intervene quickly. He lost a lot of blood." According to a close family acquaintance, she dropped the phone. She screamed. I've never heard that sound come out of her before. It was like her heart tore in half. Neighbors said lights in her home stayed on all night. Her family began packing immediately. She was on a flight to Seoul before the sun rose. Jungkook's breakdown. "I thought I lost him." If Taehyung's mother was devastated, Jungkook was shattered. The golden magne, known for his strength and loyalty, reportedly burst into tears the moment he saw Taehyung lying unconscious on the hospital bed. "He held his hand like he was afraid to let go," said a hospital staff member. He kept whispering, "Hyung, please. You said we'd sing again together. You promised." Jungkook, it was later revealed, had canceled all his personal schedules without hesitation. His team had to fly him in on an emergency flight after he collapsed backstage from emotional shock. A friend close to BTS shared. He cried for hours. He blamed himself. He kept saying, "I should have known. I should have seen the signs." The arrival. Taehyung's mother steps into the hospital, and everything changes when Taehyung's mother arrived at the hospital. The atmosphere changed instantly. No longer was this just a health emergency. It became a family crisis that echoed with the silent pain of a mother watching her child suffer. Eyewitnesses described her entrance as both heartbreaking and powerful. She wore a long beige coat, her hair tied back hastily, her eyes red from crying during the flight. The moment she saw her son lying there, pale, unmoving, his breath shallow, she let out a quiet, choked sob that caused even the nurses to tear up. She didn't scream. She didn't fall. She just held his hand and whispered, "Iyama's here, Taehyung ah. Don't leave me," recounted one nurse. Wiping her eyes, the room, once filled with clinical efficiency, now trembled with raw human emotion. Every doctor and nurse present said they had never seen a mother fight so hard to keep her composure while looking at a son so vulnerable, behind closed doors. What the doctors told Taehyung's mother will break your heart. Doctors requested a private meeting with Taehyung's mother not long after her arrival. The news they delivered was more complex than anyone expected. Taehyung, it turned out, had been suffering in silence long before his military service ended. Medical scans revealed internal stress injuries and signs of prolonged physical strain that weren't properly treated during training. The psychological toll was just as severe. Months of suppressed exhaustion, mental fatigue, and emotional isolation had led to what doctors referred to as a systemic breakdown. They told her it wasn't one thing that broke him, said a close family friend. It was everything all at once, like a dam that couldn't take any more pressure. The doctor's honesty left her trembling. She had always known her son gave more than he received, that he bore the burdens of others before his own. But hearing how far he'd pushed himself, how dangerously close he had come to collapse, left her feeling like she'd failed to protect him. She reportedly asked, "Did he call out for me?" And when they said, "Yes," she wept. The army reaction. "We thought we were ready for anything, but this broke us." News of Taehyung's hospitalization had been carefully managed by Big Hit, but rumors began to leak. Fans noticed the sudden silence from the group's social media accounts. Jin, usually active with positive posts since returning from service, had gone quiet. Jimin had postponed a scheduled live, and Jungkook's fan events were suddenly rescheduled due to personal reasons. Something was wrong, and ARMY felt it. When the first real clue emerged, a blurry photo of Taehyung's mother walking into a hospital, holding tissues, her head bowed, Twitter exploded. Hashtags like #ProtectTaehyung, #StayStrongV, and #TeamWeLoveYou trended globally within minutes. Thousands of messages poured in, filled with love, support, and fear. A popular ARMY fanbase posted, "We've seen V smile for us every day. Now it's time we carry him through this storm." Another wrote, "His mom cried. Jungkook cried. And now we're crying too." A friend's confession, Jimin's late-night phone call, and the words that changed everything. What the public didn't know was that Jimin had already sensed something was wrong with Taehyung days before the news broke. According to an insider, Jimin had called Taehyung just 3 nights before he was hospitalized. The two spoke for nearly an hour. Taehyung had tried to sound cheerful, joking about wanting to go on a trip together once everything calmed down. But Jimin later confessed that something in Taehyung's voice felt hollow. I asked him, "Are you really okay, Tae?" And he said, "I'm just tired, Hyung. Really tired." Jimin reportedly called their manager afterward and insisted someone check in on Taehyung. But it was already too late. By the next morning, Taehyung had been rushed to the hospital. Sources say Jimin was racked with guilt. He blamed himself for not going to him sooner. He kept replaying the call in his head, wondering what he missed. The flashback. What happened in the military that no one saw? Military service is mandatory, but for someone like Taehyung, an artist, an empath, a soul wired to music and emotions, the adjustment was harsher than anyone knew. Fellow soldiers, now discharged, began speaking anonymously online, revealing how Taehyung never complained, never asked for special treatment, and worked harder than anyone else. He always smiled. One wrote, "But sometimes at night he sat alone. He never said much, just stared at the sky." Another shared, "We had this brutal 17-hour training in the rain." Others groaned, took breaks. But Taehyung? He kept going. We didn't realize he was pushing beyond his limits. One chilling detail stood out. Taehyung had once fainted during drills, but insisted he was fine. The medical report from that incident had been buried, dismissed as dehydration. But now, in the hospital, those old injuries came back with a vengeance. Jungkook's return to the hospital, the song he sang at Taehyung's bedside days past. Taehyung's condition remained critical but stable. Machines beeped softly. His breathing was shallow but consistent. Jungkook came back to the hospital one evening with a small guitar. The nurses dimmed the lights. Taehyung's mother stayed beside him, holding his hand. And Jungkook began to sing, that it was spring day. His voice cracked halfway through. He cried quietly, his tears falling onto the fretboard. "I miss you," he whispered, just like in the lyrics. "I miss you so bad." And for the first time since he'd been admitted, Taehyung stirred. His fingers moved. Slightly. Almost like a reaction to the music. Everyone in the room froze. His mother covered her mouth. Jungkook broke down completely, clutching Taehyung's hand. "Hyung, come back." It was the first sign of hope.